And you know how to stop it?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Welcome to Psychic Frank's Mystery School, as it says right there. And if you want to get a hold of me, that's my email address is psychicfrank11@gmail.com. And today actually is the full moon, the Scorpio full moon, suns in Taurus, moons in Scorpio. And that actually happened a few minutes ago. 1 second while I get my notes here. Yeah, okay, let's get this out of the way. Yeah, this is a good background. Very, very, very full moony, full moonish. So, now, okay, here we go. Here we go. And naturally, I can, oh, here they are. Well, anyway, my notes of what's happening is the planet Uranus is, well, the Scorpio full moon. If you want to know about it, just go to like Pam Gregory, uh, uh, Kathy Rose, Molly McCord. I mean, there's like a whole slew of fabulous astrologers. I'm a psychic healer who uses astrology and numerology and the tarot cards and then my own psychic ability. And I don't know how it works, but after all these years, I got it down. And as a matter of fact, on my last show, I was talking about 40 years ago when I realized became conscious in 82. So it was a few years after that. So by 87, I realized I wasn't a Reiki healer. I was born to heal, and but I was running around some shopping center with the asthmatic heiress, and there were all these Reiki people doing healings, and I said to her, "What's going on there?" And she goes, "Oh, they're Reiki people. Go, check this out. Go and have a session." So it was free, and I sat there, and I was like really blown away, and the Reiki. There's a lot of Reiki masters now, but this woman from LA, I believe, is a true Reiki master. I know that for many reasons. So anyway, I took the classes, I took the name and addresses, and they were meeting at the Unitarian Church on Franklin Street on in San Francisco. And so I took the classes, and it was a month. And then it just happened, once again, just happened to be on my birthday. At the time of my birth, 4:15 in the afternoon, uh, is where we went to this dark room with just candle lit, and then it was a very wonderful ceremony, and people got their chakras open, their healing chakras, and then when she got to me, she whispered in my ear, "Wow." Something to the effect of, "This isn't Reiki, but you're gonna, but you know." So, long story short, I don't remember what she said, but the message was, "This you're not you're a healer of a different kind." And then, but I wanted to fit in. I was only in my 30s then, and we all wanted to fit in. It was bad enough because I was this freak with this freaky ability, and being gay wasn't enough. So what happened was I went to Japantown with, I mean, there was like six of us. I feel like, what was it, Monk, when he was in the gang, when he goes into the office and he felt like, wow, I'm part of the gang. Yeah, so I was part of this Reiki gang. And I said, oh, I fit in here. So we went to Japantown. It was a nice sized room. There were like, a couple of dozen people sitting there, mostly women of all nationalities, mostly white, few Asians, and very few Latinos. But anyway, I don't remember seeing it. But anyway, this there were these like chairs, and then like four or five healers, and then people sat in their chairs, and then this woman sat in front of me, and when I put my hands above her head, she started screaming, "Oh, you're burning me! You're burning me!" I hadn't even touched her, and there was no skin to see if it was red because it was on the top of her head. But so anyway, I just left. I just left, and they sort of agreed that I shouldn't come back anymore. But it was solved then. I realized I had to deal with I was a psychic, and then it was a few years after that I went to a lecture by this well-known. She was known as a healer. I'm not going to mention her name because I didn't get along with her at all. And but she had written a lot of books. I love Dr. Bernie Siegel. He was a good friend of hers. May he rest in peace. He was one of the few Western doctors who believed in psychics and alternative healings. So a friend of mine and his girlfriend paid the $150, and I went with them to this auditorium and listened to this woman give this lecture, and she was a complete washout. I didn't, everything she said in her book, she did the opposite. It was like this cosmic joke that was cost $150. I must at the time I could have used that $150 a lot more than listening to this crazy woman. But what she said was worth $150 because somebody said something and she mentioned very nonchalantly, "Oh, by the way, if you're ever dealing with the most intense pain, the burning sensation, the most intense burning sensation, the most painful, intense burning sensation you've ever felt in your life, you're dealing with jealousy, intense jealousy." And then it dawned on me, oh, 2 years ago, that woman that screamed I was burning her, she was jealous that I was a psychic. And she wasn't. I don't know. I believe we're all psychics on different levels. Granted, my level is more transformative. I'm a transformative psychic healer. So if you're, I was thinking the other day, I live in Hayes Valley. Here's my email address. I'm there all the time, and if I just don't work at nights or anything. But if it's a reasonably nice day and you happen to be in Hayes Valley, send me an email and tell me, "Hey, Psychic Frank, I'm down in front of the statue in front of Patricia Green Park. I'd love to meet you, no charge, and I'll come down and sit you in one of the benches and have a little do your chakras for you, give you a little free sample." Give me like a day's notice. That would be better because I don't have any devices. I don't run around with a telephone. I only have the landline. I love being in minorities. I have all these years. I feel weird if not in a minority. But yeah, landline telephone people are a minority, and I have no use for any devices right now. So a computer. I love my computer, by the way. Okay, so well, I just lost my whole train of thought there about. So let's move on to something. Oh yeah, about the computers. Okay, so that's when I realized that I was a healer, and that's when But oh yeah, so what I was doing. So then, what happened was, my last show, I quoted what Shirley MacLaine was talking about in a book she wrote called uh, Shirley MacLaine, Saging, Sageing, while aging. And then in the afternoons, for some reason these days, I happen to have, Gabby's, she sleeps a lot. Parrots need a lot of sleep, and normally 12 hours. And when they get older, they need a lot more. So Gabby really sleeps all the time. But when she's not sleeping, she's really awake. And her really awake moments these days, because it's spring here in San Francisco, happen to be around early afternoon. So I put on the TV for her because she loves TV. And there's this gay guy has a show called Jason, and it comes right after this quiz show I like on Channel Two. I only have antenna TV. And the other day he said his mother was happy because this world famous psychic, I never heard of this kid, was going to be on the show. So I watched the show and went through all the commercials. And then, sure enough, oh, yeah, for days he kept on saying, no, so tune in on Thursday, whatever day, because you're going to meet this guy's name. I didn't even write it down. And it turned out he was a medium. Yeah, it was a medium, and it brought back all these memories because in '82 when I came to and and I had that amazing experience. I believe I died and came back with a gift, but whatever happened, I knew that things had changed. I actually thought I was a walk-in for a long time. Those are extraterrestrials who walk out and a walk-in walks in. Bruce Montgomery wrote about them. I actually, because I had changed so much, um, so my everything changed. I believed I was a walk-in, and it turned out my dog and I found ourselves homeless for a couple of months. The asthmatic heiress moved away, and I hadn't quite found where I am now. And my buddy Mikey, who's going on 100, lives on Haight and Masonic, and he put me up in his guest room for 3 months. God bless him for that. And if I had a job at the time, I did, and all my stuff was in storage. I just didn't have a place to live. And right across the street from Mikey's was this. It's not there anymore. It was this dusty old used bookstore. I didn't have any money then. I was just like I was just scrubbing toilets for a few dollars once a week. I had no money whatsoever, and I for a quarter would get these books by Swami Vivekananda, the yoga from the late 1800s, early 1900s here. I think he was around during Tula Bankhead's time. Well, anyway, he mentioned in one of his books, mediumship is a trap. Drop it as fast as you would a stick that's turned into uh, deadly serpent. It's a bad idea. You don't want to do that. Just like manipulating the laws once you use them, and you're thinking of manipulating for your own benefit, greedy benefit. No, no, no. I've seen it happen. Drop that idea like a hot potato, man, because it'll destroy you. Uh, so there, so I because I realized that I had this ability to be a medium, but who wants to spend their life? It's like a three-trick pony. Nobody doesn't survive their death. Um, yeah, it's all this drama about who did who, Zoom, and it's just it goes. Nobody dies. That's the whole secret there, and it is a trap. And I'm so glad I didn't get stuck in that trap. So anyway, Shirley MacLaine's talking about synchronicity, and I talked about it on my last show that's on my YouTube channel, which is Psychic Frank's apostrophe S Mystery School, and about synchronicity was coined by one of the 20th century's most influential thinkers, the Swiss psychologist Carl Jung. Jung defines synchronicity as any apparent coincidence that inspires a sense of wonder and personal meaning or particular significance in the observer. It is a perceived connection between two or more objects or events or a person without any recognizable cause. And then it goes on about synchronistic events to me, and she points out, point toward an organized principle of the universe that suggests our connection with a higher order of consciousness is never far from the surface of ordinary awareness. In one sense, synchronicity may be called meaningful intersected of intersection of paths. I love that. Can be synchronicity can be called an meaningful intersection of paths. That's on page 45. Well, anyway, there's kids going on giving advice to the View, because this guy's on network, TV. I guess nationwide, everybody was watching him at that time. And this young man, I mean, the audacity and the lack of humility is going on. Like, he didn't even say the word synchronicity. He was explaining how one way to know that your guides are with you is they will send you little messages. And what he went on to explain is synchronicity. And does he ever read a book? Have you ever read? And then it was like 100 years before that. It was called serendipity in the 1800s, early in 1800s to the turn of the century. It was called serendipity, and then Carl Jung came along and called it synchronicity. But it goes on. So it was sort of synchronistic that I would watch TV 2 days after I taped the show on Shirley MacLaine's and the Power of Surrender, the guidance of synchronicity, and for me, humility keeps me sober. It's my whole thing. So I was taught that if you say the word humility, you don't have it. That word. That's how fragile that word is. So so I guess, having this young kid, yeah, well, I don't want to have his job, I don't want to live out of a suitcase. I don't want to go on the road. I don't want to have to go on all these gigs. I always knew that if you're good enough, the world will be a path to your doorway. I have a Taurus rising. I'd like to stay put. San Francisco and I love, this is my home. I can't live without it. I don't want to live without San Francisco. So I love this city. That's why I'm so mad, so motivated. I was gonna say mad, but I'm upset with the plundering it got with the Hurricane Breed that we're all paying for now, because no one could even mention nobody in City Hall will even mention she's responsible for even an iota of the $1 billion plus debt that she left San Francisco in. And yet, I guess if they say, give her blame for a little, then boom, the lawyers in love would be all over the way. I don't know what the hell they're doing there. So anyway, so it's called the Jason Show, and so I sent him a copy of that show, an email of that show, and I'm sure, because I'm so radical and what's it called, I'm such an activist. Any that's why who could yeah. Once again, let me remind you, people watching, anybody who's watching, fascism, powerful and continuing nationalism. America first. But these colors don't run. That's what it was when 9/11 happened. Anything you said that 9/11 was an inside job, which it was, um, they hang you. Who knows? Disdain for they crucify you. Yeah, they would. They crucify you. Disdain for human rights. Yeah, yeah. No, we have no power of speech here in San Francisco. They shut off my microphone when I mentioned London Breeze. Got those words London Breed out of my mouth, and they cut off my mic. That her word is makes you persona non grata. You cannot mention London Breed is responsible for. She's responsible for the whole enchilada. Ed Lee, the whole enchilada. Those two. But no, this numbnut mayor we got, numbnuts. That's what I call him. That's my pet name from numbnuts. I don't know how he even looks in the goddamn mirror. But let's get back here. Okay, supremacy of the military now. For 2 months now, we've spent $25 billion, $1 billion a day for this war. Now 8 wars going on thanks to Donald Trump. Rampant sex. We're going to get how that's all tied into the higher mind of Uranus with Sedna. Yeah, yeah. But the part I wanted to get is uh, corporate power protected, labor power suppressed, disdain for intellectuals and the arts. Anybody, an intellectual who knows alcohol is poison. There's not 1 ounce of it, not one drop of it is good for the human body, mind, or spirit, and yet it's still it's still being like same like what's his name, Gavin nuisance. Yeah, he's got like what's it called, plump jack. It's all about the wine industry and the social order, the social climate of San Francisco, making it vibrant. No, he's making it noisy, vulgar, and loud. That's what alcohol does to you, you stupid. You deserve the word numbnuts. Yeah, compared to you, uh, Gory Lauri is Einstein. Gavin Newsom, God, you're stupid, stupid, stupid. How do you? How could you spend that money you're making, though, that knowing that all those people that you're urging, you could really make San Francisco. You're trying to make San Francisco compete with all these, Las Vegas, New York. All these people go get drunk and forget their whatever, wake up with hangovers. Who knows what the hell they do that for? But the fact is we could make it a city of healing, or at least no more cannabis day. 3 years now. Hippie Hill, they still had something there, but no national cannabis is better than alcohol day. Say the truth, and you won't die. It's not going to grab your throat, and you go, oh. The truth won't kill you. It could actually happen for me. I'm talking to you, nuisance, and you numbnuts, both of you numbnuts, Newsoms and Gory Lauri there. Alcohol's poison, cannabis good, cannabis good, fire water bad. How much simpler can I put it? I try to lower my vocabulary, keeping 2 syllable words. Fire water bad, cannabis good. Like white man go to the church and talk about God. American Indians go into the teepee, smoke some weed, and talk to God. But I guess you can't rape and pillage unless you're drunk. And also NASA, man, NASA. The most our consciousness now. I get the picture they're telling me about when the ships eventually came to America back in when the Viking ships came. The first ships that hit they were so foreign to the American native Indians, they didn't see them, and they were right on the beach, and because they had nothing in their mind to associate it with. And I believe that's what's happening now. And our consciousness there's enough light in our consciousness, in our blood, in our minds, and this revolution that's going on now. Because every time Uranus is officially in Gemini, that happened from 1774 to 1782, the American Revolution. 1858 to 1866, the American Civil War. 1941 to 1949, World War II, and now we have until 2033. It just started last week. Uh, Uranus and Gemini, but this will be a revolution of consciousness. I believe this will be a peaceful revolution because we have no alternative. Einstein said he couldn't tell us what weapons will be used in World War IV, but he said, I could tell you in World War V, you'll be using sticks and stones. So, or World War III, I get them all confused. Yeah, World War II. We haven't had World War III yet. We've had, we've had a lot of little wars. A lot of little wars. Like there's such night. It's like a little death. It's like being a little pregnant. You're either, oh man, we got to stop being snuff queens. We got a snuff queen president. And that president of Israel God, he's a genocide. This is genocide of your tax dollars. You know, I was listening on the radio to Peter Coyote, an old hippie, and he spelled it right out. You know, he and Jane Fonda like that. You know, I think they were married once upon a time. And he said, and we could stop the war in one day if we would all just get away from. What's that in my mouth there? Is that one of those stars? We won't do that again. Yeah, yeah, just stop Amazon. Just everybody stop it. Just go at least a few days without just stop them, hit them in the money belt. Just if the masses now, the population's huge, and if everybody would just stop Amazon, just stop just that alone. Never mind shut down all the major compute. Monsanto, they're killing our environment now. Yeah, there's no protection for the environment thanks to Snuff Queen Donald the Destroyer. So what's going on now, Sedna is tightly going to conjunct, its orbit is 11,400 years. So these outer planet asteroids, or dwarf planets, are major, so powerful, so much, just as powerful as any planet. And like take Pluto for instance, they call it a dwarf planet. No, but no. So these planets. So with an orbit of 11,400 years, and now it's in Gemini, tightly conjuncting. Oh, I have it written down here. Where did I put it? I gotta get better organized. And I had it like in a little circle. Okay, it's got to be here. It's got to be here. Okay, the most exact about the 24th of May. It's tight May through June, and again this coming December through April of 27. So this is all about higher mind, galactic connections, communication, a lot of clarity and truth, higher awareness. Uh, uh, okay, we'll talk more about that in a minute. More about that in a minute. Yeah, interstellar. You see, interstellar objects that's floating through space. This is the 3-eye atlas. Separate you from something that's altering your reality. It's not. It's our consciousness now. We're able to see these things via the telescope, but we're actually under. They're making their effect on our consciousnesses. It's a mystical universe. I've been saying that so long. I've been thinking everybody accepts that, but I guess some people just don't get that part of it. Okay, there's something here. I know it's peeking out for me. Yeah, here's what I was looking for. So anyway, all this Gemini energy, 1 second, please. See, there used to be a little table here. But then what happened was Bayback had some kind of an event and they took it away. And Clay said he was going to look for it. So when I'm back here in 2 weeks, maybe it'll show up. But I would have, it made my job a little bit easier when I was able to point things out. Yeah, that's something I found this morning just as I was getting ready to leave to get here. I picked up this. Well, I was looking at the clock to see how much time I have left because I wanted to have some time to do the tarot cards, but there's no place to do the tarot cards. You know, so I'd have a little space here. I guess I could clear this area out. Well, we'll do that. We'll work something out because I know people like that. Okay. Yeah, this is why Donald Trump couldn't get in his own nation now. He had to have extraordinary talent. He doesn't have that. Professional or specialized vocations doesn't have that. Exceptional students, he's not that. Oh yeah, his students when he was in college in the Wharton school there, they said the professor said he was the worst student he ever had. They had to throw him out of grade school or high school because he attacked a teacher. I mean, he's been a bad seed his whole life, you know. Benjamin Franklin said, ignorant people never remain free people. Democracy cannot survive too much ignorance. Exhibit A, we're living Exhibit A for that one. Goethe said, everything is hard before it's easy. Yeah, cleaning up the planet. Yeah. Oh, you know, I had this vision. For years now, I've been saying, my guides tell me that there's planets out in the galaxy that are highly civilized and they know about overpopulation. They're human beings that are not human becomings. They are actually human beings. The actual human beings are nothing like what the masses are here. And there's psychics who will talk to a pregnant woman in the early stages of pregnancy, I guess, and say to her, and they'll talk to the fetus and say, "It's not that I don't want to have you now, sweetheart. I just don't, it's not the right time. I guarantee you, when time's right, we'll have this. And you know, and that'll take place, and then the woman will go home and miscarry, and then I guess go to a hospital and have a D&C, dusting and a clean, whatever. That's what we used to call it when I was an orderly in New York City. But you know, they said it's not. But as I said, there'll be and then so psychics will be running abortion clinics. They're not even calling abortion clinics because they're not really abortion clinics. They're just contract renegotiating, and the psychic will renegotiate the contract the pregnant woman has with the fetus. Or it can be, I just want to cancel this contract. I'm a spiritual being. I changed my mind. But as I said, and then the other day I was coming out of a meditation. I do a lot of walking meditations where I just let the wind blow my mind of all the garbage it collects during the day of just living. And they tell me, no, Frank, what we're showing you is not. It's Earth. Planet Earth is that you know. So right here on planet Earth, people will be that when I thought it was another, no, it's planet Earth. So I thought that was a hopeful telling me that no, we're going to have by next year, it's going to reach the boiling point, and we will have to have this terrestrial, as I said, Atlas 3I was just like the scout saying the cavalry's on its way. Cavalry's on its way. Help is on the way. There was something, okay, magic is believing in yourself. If you can do that, you can make anything happen. Anything you love can be saved. We got to love planet Earth. When you see the Earth and your life is blessed, it becomes blessed. It's hard to believe it was the same life you cursed. Just yeah, we have rough times where you wish you weren't born. That's part of being human. There. But and then what else did there was something else I wanted to read from that. Humility, like darkness, reveals the heavenly light. Humility, like darkness, reveals the heavenly light. Henry David Thoreau said that. Humility, like darkness, reveals the heavenly lights. I love that. Yeah, humility now. It's something Donald Trump doesn't have an iota of. He actually, his ego is definitely not for sure his amigo, I'll tell you. Yeah, yeah, human consciousness is fundamentally non-local, not localized or confined to specific points in space and time, such as brains and bodies, nor specific points in time, such as the present. So I want to get to the cards and show you when I'm in my non-local space. This isn't they're taking away our freedom of speech now. These phones would be working. People would be calling me right now, giving me their birthday. I'd be doing psychic readings for them. if you meet me in front of Hayes Valley, Patricia Green Park. I manage a building right on the corner of Linden and Patricia Green Park. Just give me an email a few hours before and tell me, Frank, I would love to meet you. I'm with a few friends, and if I'm there, I'd be glad to. But I don't know how else, divide and conquer. We have no psychic fairs anymore. I think you had to be I know it used to be a good reading was around, $400 or $500. Sylvia Brown was getting a few thousand for her readings, and she was really good, I must admit. But as I said, a lot of people don't have that. That's why I don't even do readings anymore, very rarely. And it's a sliding scale, and a lot of times it's the barter. The barter's coming back, by the way. Yeah, big time. It's a corrupt society. Well, it's been a few decades now, but there's no Hippocratic oath. I mean, people just assume that their doctor took this oath to do no harm. No. Ben Franklin said God heals, and the doctor takes the money. So this thing coming up on the 24th, and then it's going to go on right through June, but then again December through April. And as I said, this is if you have any angles, this is going to be most strongly for Virgos, Sagittarians, and Pisces, all mutable signs, a real opening up of all of our consciousness, anything within 1 to 3 degrees of more than three mutable signs. And the full moon today is 11 degrees 20. The moon is 11 degrees 20. Same, stimulating more revolutionary energy as secrets come to light, as they undoubtedly will with the financials and sexual secrets with Scorpio, of course. So the day is young. And by the time you see this, it'll be a week from now because I guess because of the limited staff they have now. And the message I'm getting, I should just be goddamn lucky I'm even here and just keep my mouth shut and be grateful that I'm doing it. Don't make any waves, Frank. They used to say that it was a cocktail joke. They said in the 50s. I used to overhear people, cocktail parties when I was a kid drinking, and they'd be everybody laughing about this. The punchline of the joke was don't make waves because they were in shit up to their neck. If you made waves, then well, so, but I like to make waves. I don't believe in that because if we don't make waves now, man, yeah, uh, faith, faith moves mountains of inventory. Earth is my church, and you're killing my church. Since Donald Trump now lifted all these endangered species things, yeah, in essence, the Saturn Neptune hasn't happened for thousands, 6,000 years. Oh, it's still very effective now, and this is a rebirth for humanity stepping into our power. And the people, the powers that be, feared we'd reach this point. They are shitting bricks. I don't know how else to put it. That must be very uncomfortable. I don't know how else to put it because their biggest fear that we'd wake up and start connecting dots. We gotta pull the plug on NASA, bring back the Peace Corps, all the good ideas JFK had. I don't think right now I know for a fact JFK is not happy that under his name now NASA, he's calling it a Nazi plot. Well, I'm getting ready to pack up and get on out of here because I was going to do the readings, a little reading, but there's no space here. Man, I gotta have some space, man. Give Psychic Frank some space. Um, Einstein said, no, Dwight Eisenhower, I like Ike. He said, may we never confuse honest dissent with disloyal submission. Always beware of the fact that the only thing hindering an all-out revolution is our fear of losing the scraps they're throwing at you. You know, in the 50s when I was growing up, you could have a house, a summer vacation, one job, you got a gold watch and a pension. And then along came Ronald Reagan, and he put an end to that. And Joy Behar on The View. I used to think she was cool. I don't know. Maybe she should step away now because I was watching her last month, and she said, "Well, Ronald Reagan did a lot of good things." What? Well, so I guess Charlie Manson did a few good things in his life. Maybe once in his life he helped an old lady cross the street. I don't know. Maybe he. I can't imagine. How could you say you could destroy a middle class that's been happening now? Now it's like people are homeless. And Joy just said when she said Donald, his picture's hanging in the in the whorehouse. Can't really call it the White House anymore. They call it's the whorehouse. And in the Oval Office of the whorehouse now, you have a picture of Ronald Reagan. They told me back in 1980 when I was telling people, "Don't vote for this man." They say, "Frank, it's an experiment. You think if it doesn't, if it's not a good thing, we'll know." It's that was what, how many years, decades ago. The results are in now. You're stepping over bodies. I want this, Lauri. God, if you, what you're doing by your non-cooperation with evil as much a duty as cooperation with good, Mayor Lauri, and you're cooperating with evil forces now, the liquor industry and Gavin Nuisance, who's got billions wrapped up in the wine industry, and his pet project is the re-socializing system of San Francisco, making it more of a boozy town, boozy, drunk, and we're not going to have it. We're not going to. You want that shit? Go to Las Vegas. You want that shit? Go to New York City. You want that shit? Go somewhere else, but not in this city now. We're taking back the city of wellness. We're going to take back. I notice I'm not saying we're going to try. I wish. No, we are. We're doing it. It's by just right now. We're hanging on to democracy. This is it. No network on network TV, no news station on network TV, antenna TV. I don't know about cable TV. It's gonna tell you the news. It's going to tell you there's something in the air besides the atmosphere, and the way, like, Joy, what's her name, Oprah's girlfriend there. They took for kicks and giggles, just punched a hole in the ozone, and went on like a 15-minute floating in space. Gail King, you should be ashamed of yourself, Gail King. Don't you have kids? Don't you have grandkids? Don't you understand? They're not gonna. Do you want them to live in a tin can on a violent planet? It's not. No. Mars ain't no place to raise your kids. This brainwashing that's taking over. It's like an episode of the Twilight Zone. I feel like any Miller in Twilight, Rod Sterling is going to say, "Psychic Frank, you've been in the Twilight Zone." Doesn't people? There's no better there than here. Of all the planet, okay, we're going to leave us with this. Okay, of course we're running out of time now, but this card, I think really puts us in a yeah. It's the star card. The star card teaches us that there's always hope. When there's weed, there's hope. In the fact, notice I didn't say where there's dope, there's hope, because weed isn't dope. Where there's liquor, there's dope. Liquor is now, the words now, sick means good. I don't know. Word dope probably means good. Who knows what the hell it is? Cancer's not fun. Let's put it that way. And that's when your liver goes. See if you're. I remember a good drinking poem I had was through the teeth and over the gums. Look out, stomach, here it comes. Oh my God, did I live to regret those words? And thank God I got a second chance. Spare yourself the misery. You know, it's been what 4 decades now. I woke up. I've never had the only ever hangover I ever had. By the time I woke up with a hangover was when I had a pain pill. Yeah, some pharmaceutical they gave me. The star teaches us that there's always hope. In the vastness of the universe, against all odds, we exist here on a planet with the exact right conditions for life to form, traveling around a star on one of the swirling arms of our galaxy. A life force runs through our existence, eternal, unbroken, carrying us through the past to here and into the future tomorrow, guided by a shining star. Channel that force to make it visible for others. This is the earth. This is everything we need right here. There's no better anywhere. Even if there was and there is, when we die, we'll wake up there. Let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Let's bless this planet and bring her back to life. Let's. Donald Trump is still saying just this morning that it's a climate change is a big hoax. His ass is a big hoax. I'm not mad at. I don't. I'm not. I don't hate anything, and I'm not. I just, ignorance, man. I just. What are these? I hate when ignorance happens. And yeah. So the world card. The world card. Uh, uh, the moon, the star, tower. Uh, okay. So I guess that was the card I wanted to read. I wanted to read that one about, but it seems to be here. It is the world card. The world teaches us to celebrate the completion of one era and the dawning of the next. This literally is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. The phases of our lives don't have clean lines dividing them. There are intersectional, I can't say that word, intersecting sectional periods when the elements of life loosen and rearrange themselves. That's where we are right now. This is such a precious moment into form into a form that will best support the life that awaits on the other side of the portal. We are headed toward a major life transition. Even if this comes as a shock, it is grounds for celebration. You are graduating from this portion of your life. You have of our lives. We have accomplished what we needed in this stage. You are ready to progress. Trust the universe to take where you were meant to be. The Piscean age is over. The karmic debt's been paid. And all this Aries energy is happening in our fourth house where our wounded healer planet Chiron is. And the fourth house is our cosmic mother. Astrologers today, they're both parents' houses in this unisex. Oh, I've only got 3 minutes left. Cards are right here. Let me pick a few cards for you. 3 stacks, past, present, future, what my viewers right now would need to know. Okay, it's time now to be ourselves. It's this new beginning now. It's a rebirth. This is totally an initiation what's happening now. We're literally are giving birth to this beautiful consciousness. It's just wonderful. It's no words for it. There's no words for it. It's just like speechless, dumbstruck, awesome peace. That's why cannabis is the most psychedelic experience we can have with hardly any side effects whatsoever. Uh, right now, where we are, it's right in our face now. Everything we've been sweeping under the rug now is such piled so high we've tripped over it. So, just don't focus on it. Now, whatever you focus on is going to grow. Let's focus on the solution. Let's focus on getting back in balance with, there's always going to be the shadow, but it's always going to be kept in check now. It's part of the human condition. Let's not glorify like greed is good. Mike Douglas is paying the dues for that money he made from that movie. Why do actors take any shit role they can? You know, that's why I'm so glad I got out of the business because I saw a lot of these old timers. I worked at the Saudis building. I saw all the dollies. Next door was the St. James Theater. I worked for this big producer upstairs, and it was, and I realized, these old timers, man, they took any shit job. They ride an ass on Bonanza after winning an Oscar for Jekyll and Hyde. You gotta, that's why they all drank. They all shook a lot. They drank hard, died fast. We're waking up now. We are waking up. We are getting given a second chance. I love this. I'm going to read you what this is. Melinda Holmes says here. This is card 20. Well, we're getting all the 20s today. Judgment card. Judgment teaches us to pull up the relics of our past so we can sort out the treasures from the trash. With time, memories merge and distort. We form associations with events, people, and places that point everything around them in the same broad strokes. New nuance is lost. It is time to get back to digging up the pieces of our story and putting them back together in a way that makes sense to us now. When you see this card, the judgment card approaching, start clearing clutter now. Begin with the most obvious, your closet, the drunk drawer, the society, your social life. I put those in there. Or that tables. Yeah, the universe loves symbolic gestures. Like just don't take a shower, wash away and cleanse your aura. So I'm filling you all up now with the love and light of the Holy Spirit. Don't just don't just go to sleep at night. Go into the dream state. Surround yourself with the love and light of the Holy Spirit. The world's just friends we haven't met yet. Um, if somebody really pisses you off, it's because they're reminding you of your old self, and give thanks to that. Otherwise, they'll just keep on repeating. Okay, I think we got just about out of here. This is something, I'm not a Jesus freak. I believe I'm a spiritualist, and I believe that Christ. That oh yeah, there's not just one Antichrist. Jesus did say there's going to be many false prophets. So, people wonder, is Donald Trump the Antichrist? No, he's just one of the many, many, many Antichrists that are around now. They're all throughout history are all here now. It's and I believe when you say make an affirmation 3 times, you're casting a spell. Words cast spells. That's why it's called spelling. And you got to do it 3 times. Like my favorite one now is, I feel safe to be me. I feel safe to be me. I feel safe to be me. I say that around 500 times. I sing it. I dance to it when I'm walking. I'll make it a beat. Try it. Christ consciousness in me now is the shepherd to lead my restless thoughts to my home of divine peace. Christ consciousness in me is the shepherd to lead my restless thoughts to my home of divine peace. Christ consciousness in me now is the shepherd to lead my restless thoughts to my home of divine peace. Ah. Isn't that beautiful? Life is, Emmanuel, this trans channel I love, he was giving a lecture to Pat Rodergeist. Make sure and he rest in peace wherever they are. And he was talking about the beautiful beauty of the universe and the love, and they went on and on. It was just so eloquent and true. It just, yeah, I believe that is the universe. It is not sentimental bullshit. It is ultimate love that we would burn out. It would just blow us up. It's so beautiful. That's why we're conditioning ourselves for it now. And he was going on about the beauty of the universe. I don't know if he threw in that stuff I just said about blowing up because we couldn't handle it. We can now. Anyway, this was like 30 years ago. Anyway, the cynic in the back of the room said, yeah, 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 that's a beautiful thought. And Emmanuel said, the universe is a beautiful thought. Keep that in mind. And what's happening now is the universe is standing on its head, so we'll all wake up. The sooner we wake up, we can get past all this. Okay? Okay? Use the dream state. Picture the angel. You have your own personal guardian angel now. There's so many unemployed angels. Oh my God, it's so sad. Donald Trump is making the angels cry. Okay, ask your guys what you can do individually. And we got 2 more minutes now. We did that. We did that. Oh, yeah, vote for this guy. I love him. He's an Indian guy. He's running. The kid is going to SAIKAT for Congress. He's running for Congress. I want him in Congress. I like Katie Porter, but because I want a woman in there. But there's a lot of people. No, Scott Wiener. Come on, Scott Wiener hired a fleet of buses filled up with paid Chinese people to vote against getting 420 the cannabis initiative passed. And now he wants to go to Congress and he's pretending he gives a shit about anything except the liquor industry. Oh no, no. He could go to LA and get a matching cap and sweatshirt, and he could go to Where's Waldo openings, go to parties, do kids parties, but no, no Scott Wiener. And his ads are all over the place, so he's got much, much money backing him now. Yeah, corporates want Scott Wiener. Vote for anybody but Scott Wiener, please, please. Don't vote for Scott Wiener. I love you and I love San Francisco. And let's question everything if you get a chance. Goodbye. I love you guys. I love being here. I'll be back in 2 weeks. Okay, come on now. Let's get over here. All right. Adios.